Welcome back again. Now in this part we will go and continue working on our airplane. I will select the edges, and in fact, since we are getting to the cockpit where everything just roundish a little bit, I will actually pick up these group of edges, only these ones, and as you can see I didn't grab the top ones, I just only grabbed the bottom ones, and I will go and extrude them. So shift right click and extrude edge, W, and I'll move these guys. Alright, now of course there are some stuff to take care about here. Let's say this one has to be a little bit smoothed out, so I'll just pull it up just like there, so we get the beginning of smoothing out everything, like so probably, and probably I'll get all those guys here till the end and move it just a little bit so it will match up with this line. And I will select actually this line of vertices, the last one, except the top one. I will just push it right there. Okay. Here, and you're gonna be a little bit there. Okay. Now let us, before I go further, I would love to make sure that my top view is tolerable, or a little bit, has a little line to it. And apparently, as you can see, I have to snap all the vertices again right now to the center, but I will actually take care of this before I start before I actually start working on the before mirroring. So I would do that for sure before just mirroring. Now let me see how it looks like from the top view here. Hold on a second, not that too much actually. I will go not that much. In fact, let me see. So yeah, I would go something like quite close, because I don't want to get problems with alignment. I will hit X, just hold the X key on the keyboard, and as you can see I got a circle here, and just snap it, probably move it a little bit upwards. We have this one here, we got this one there. Yeah, I wouldn't go too much stray, I would love to keep that line. Alright, so we have, this is how it does look like, although it is kind of a broke out because I don't have a detail enough to hold, because I need at least one more line running here just to keep this part curvy. As you can see here, you see it's broken out, chopped in a strange way. So that's why I need one more line running here, but I wouldn't add it at all until I finish the whole body. In fact, once I will get to the end of this part, I will actually leave it to you guys. I will completely pause the video because I don't want really to, it's gonna be quite boring actually to get complete this part, which is quite straightforward. If you went with me this far until here and even past the cockpit, then probably you will not have any problems passing through the hole until the end of the airplane, which is quite linear. Alright, I'll just try to pass the cockpit here, and then you can actually start modeling on your own. Now since I would love to adjust these lines a little bit here, like so, I would take these guys, the last guys over here, and I will push them a little bit like so. Okay, just let us make sure that we don't exceed too much. Now unfortunately I have to figure out, yep, I believe, yeah, it's a little bit difficult to see from here. Now I would love to know this one, where is he in the front view, excuse me, in the top view Okay, this and this should be actually fit in there, if I'm not wrong, and apparently I'm not, but they have a little bit awkwardness to them, and this is because again of the less details which I already have put in there. I didn't actually enable too many details in there. Now let's make sure that the side view is almost aligned correctly, so I'll just keep those guys a little bit down, like so. Later on I will come actually at the perspective view, and then I will try to bump up these guys so to make them a little bit as roundy as possible. Again, keep in mind that I'm not actually making a hyper-realistic model. I'm making it for some sort of a game which doesn't even have, like, I mean, your projects are not having a game engines where you have some, or graphics engine, excuse me, where you have some sort of optimization to your renders and all those stuff. So that's why I'm gonna go with less details and less polygons as possible, with keeping in mind trying to hold the shape as much as possible. Okay, now let me just extend those. I wouldn't even extend those. I would actually grab the edges, those ones, like those. Oh, let me first, before I go further, make sure that my body is following. So, I mean, the body of the plane, excuse me, not my body, definitely. Now I will just make sure that just the body of the plane just following this major headline, or major shape, if you will. Now, okay, I believe we are on good track. Alright, let's get on with the edges then. Deselect all this, so we have only those. Shift right click, extrude edge, W, and move out. Now I have as well to start grabbing the vertices and, you know, trying to realign everything, trying as well to make sure that this guy is in the correct place, and I believe he should be right there, like so. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. And in front, actually, you can see I don't touch the front view because it's it doesn't tell that much. I mean, okay, the cockpit is somewhere upstairs, but it's really difficult to tell from the front view. And as you can see, I have as well to work on how to actually bring this upwards. So I believe I'm gonna try to bring this a little bit up. Right now I'm gonna try just to eyeball it, if you will, just to try to grab to get some more sense. I mean, right now it's gonna be I have to realign it again from the side view apparently. Yeah, but not that much, not that very much. But I'm trying, you know, like to keep everything not that very chopped off, you know, like kind of an effect. And again, I have actually to add really more details in here, so I could actually get something a little bit more roundish than this one. So probably one more line running here, another line running there, and another edge loop here, so we can, like, trying to pull some verts up, you know, in order to get some roundiness to it. Okay, now let's move forward. And okay, now let's move forward. Let me make sure that this guy's a little bit down. You know, tweaking vertices never stop. It's like a, you know, necessary evil, if you will. So extrude edge, shift right click again, W, and move. And let us make sure that the vertices are following the body of the plane. There we go. Good to go then. Now let me check over here. There's just a strange feeling of this. Yeah, I'm actually not quite happy with this, you know, like how it ends up, you know, it's not that very roundish, but we really need a lot of details to hold up this kind of idea. Yeah, I would leave it like so. A little bit upwards. So we have some sort of, and probably I'll push this a little bit inward, you know, just to make it a little bit smoother than it is. Now let me have a look how does it look from the side view. And Yeah, I'm a little bit off, but it's okay. I will be actually living with that. It doesn't matter. Let me see here. Um, I'm completely off from the side view, but it's okay since it's more like a cheat for me. I needed it in that way. So let me see. Oops, probably I activated some menu which I don't need. Okay, I would actually not look at this part anymore because I will have really a lot of job to do with this plane. So let's go further. Select the edges, control deselect these guys, shift right click and extrude edge, W, and moving out. Now here it comes that I have to actually start extending it. In fact, I could push this a little bit in the back, and as you can see here I have to start pulling up some of my details, you know. So I have to let's see, can I do this, and this, not this very much, a little bit, you know. Okay, let me make sure that the extruded edges or faces or vertices are in correct phase, you know. So there you go. A little bit more probably. A little bit here. Okay, we are good to go. Next, we are almost there. We're almost passing the cockpit, which is good. Now we'll select all these edges again. Extrude edge, W, moving out. Not that very much as well. I would go a little bit like so, upwards. And in fact, since this one is more like a centerpiece or like a piece by its own, I would actually just leave it in there, and I will go. I mean, if you look at it, this is actually like a piece in the center, and this is, if you imagine like some sort of imaginary line, there should be like this line should be extended like until here. So I would actually try to round the plane, you know, like things up. Anyway, it's gonna be this part, which I'm gonna extrude right now until here, is gonna be hidden under this piece of the cockpit. So let me first try to align the vertices. And let me try it right now to check for the cockpit itself. How does it look like from here? So apparently I'm not that bad after all. I mean, I'm not that very off, not that very much off of the charts or of the airplane plan itself. So this is, which is really good, not bad. Okay, let me just try first of all just file save as. I always love to save versions of my scenes, so I will call this V3, and it's always a good idea to do that, trust me, because sometimes, I mean, it happened to me sometimes in the beginning or in modeling, or even while I mean after these years of modeling, I believe sometimes I actually fall in some certain mistakes that really required me to go and instead of undoing anything, just revert back to the latest version which I have been, and then start, you know, like fixing everything up again and so on. So it is really quite useful to save versions. And as you can see here, look at this which is proves that I really need a line, and this is a good thing that I didn't actually add it right now, because you see I got as well some certain flattened areas like these, which is quite flat and really big flat. So I have to probably add one more line of detail here, probably, we'll see. As well, it is a good thing to note that when you are modeling, you try your best to keep the squares as much equal as possible. I mean, for now, as you can see here, I got this part is a little bit bigger than this part, or a little bit different than this part, for instance. the distances are really matters, because if you see, if I deselect this, you look at the model, it's gonna be a little bit like, okay, since this is a really low poly, but if I make a smooth preview, you see it's not always perfect. There's some certain anomalies somewhere. Now of course, if I'm making a hyper realistic model, I will convert this to somewhere like a subdivisional surface, which you can see here in surfaces and subdivisional surfaces. You can actually start converting that into sub D and then making it really smooth surface. But since we are working here with something like really low poly, so I will keep it that very simple, although it could be not that very highly detailed. I will actually select vertices in here and pull these up a little bit, not that very much. Just pull this guy a little bit down. Select the edges, control click, all these guys, shift right click and W and move. Now if you notice something, I could actually like go here and select this edge. I mean, okay, I could lower this guy a little bit down, push it somewhere. Not push it right now, probably I will push it somewhere here, and I could have done like so. I could just pick up an edge, you know, like, and then shift right click and extrude it like so. So we have some sort of a detail. Now of course this is gonna be, has to be mapped right in the center, so we have to push it, hold on, we have really to push it right there like so. Okay, so we wrap around the airplane, so we wrap around the cockpit again, and of course I have to add more detail, so probably I will add one more edge loop and so on, but let me see where this is gonna be going. So I would keep it that way for now. If I'll need it, I will just add it. Okay, now I will go edges, select all these. Probably it's a little bit too big, I don't know, we'll see. Shift right click and extrude. Oh no, hold on a second, before I do that I have just to, of course, deselect all this and try to push these vertices a little bit down. Okay. Yeah, again tweaking, you know. Alright. Edges again, control click, shift right click and extrude edge, W and move. Now I could actually go and try to, you know, like minimize this, try to get to my point here. In fact, since this is actually quite hidden, it's going to be a little bit difficult to know for sure how this actually looks like. Here, and I'll go for edges again, but I will leave actually the most top ones, so this and this. I'll just extrude only those. Move them like so, and take this. Probably I will try to push this here, push this there a little bit. Anyway, this is gonna be hidden, so I really don't care much about it. Push this up, so for right now try to follow this line. So push this up even more, control click almost all of these. I will just select the most bottom ones and just push them down a little bit. Alright, from now on it's quite linear, so I'm gonna just, you know, like select these edges, you know, and then starting extruding them, you know, like one by one. So I would love that you actually do this on your own, and then you can I will pause the video, I will finish this, and once you have you know, like finished this part, just compare your work to mine, and you can see probably you even done it better, or probably you got it really right, although it could be different than mine, or probably you got mine, or probably if you done it worse, then you can have a look how the details are flowing, and then you can try to imitate those. Okay, so I will just pause here, and then we will continue the back once I finish until the end of this tail. Alright, so I tried to finish the body of the airplane, and as you can see here, I got well, I'm not that quite satisfied actually with the whole, like how it ended up, that very much, but in general, I wanted actually to prove here just how can I say, some sort of showing you some sort of a pipeline, if you will, that will help us. Apparently I didn't notice while I was tweaking the vertices that I had to shrink these guys down a little bit. Probably not that very much, but apparently I forgot completely to shrink those guys down. I was actually like tweaking the vertices, you know, like pulling them up and down and all, and everything was happening through the perspective, and I completely forgot the how can I say, actually completely forgot the views. Apparently it works, I mean, it's in terms, as far as I see, well, perfectly lined up from the top, but apparently from the side it didn't. So let me try to fix that real quick here in front of the camera. Now looking to the final model, this is what I actually wanted to achieve, like something really simple, no high details, as little as polygons as possible. Probably I sacrificed some of the details here. I mean, one of the things that got me a little bit into trouble is that I started really with too many details, which is like what you see right now is was almost like one of the workflows where you get the ability to let me see here. Okay, now I am. This is right now is a little bit swallowable right now. I'm in these solutions. Let me try to let me undo that. Try to modify these guys in the middle. Probably I will pull some things up or some things down. Let me see what I can do here. Let's see how these things look like from the perspective right now after I modified everything. Yeah, well, okay, this anyway is gonna be hidden under the cockpit, so I mean under this piece thing is gonna be there, so I mean it's not gonna be visible. So 2, 3 smooth preview. Yeah, you see it's a little bit, you know, like it's a little bit bumpy here, which is quite how can I say, predictable, because I mean right now I have a really few details are holding up that top part, and I really don't want to add more polygons, because I really the purpose of it is just, you know, like making an airplane works. I would love to texture the airplane itself and making it work correctly. I mean right now if you want to carry on further, you can actually add one more edge loop here, like running through here, and one more there, and then try to round things up a little bit and smooth them up if you wanted to, so you can actually add more smoothness to this shape. You see how it's like block and then it's round from here, so you have really to add we have really to add a couple lines here, but I wouldn't really do that because I don't want to cram up my airplane, and since this is more like a demo, so I would really leave it at this stage. Alright, so what is left for us is trying to mirror this airplane. You just check, so it is aligned from the side, aligned almost from the top. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Now I have to make sure before mirroring that both of these vertices which you see, like this one, and you see, this is one of the things which I'm talking about, like rounding things up. I have really to stop tweaking vertices because it would never end. Now if I select those two vertices, those two has to be really snapping to the grid, so I have to hit X and make sure to snap them to this main line. You see this main black line, this one I have to really stand to it, because if I don't, it will not really mirror correctly, and at the end I will get some strange jaggy lines. So, and there's a very interesting way, like picking, as far as I remember, you see up and down arrow keys. I can actually start picking the vertices one by one. So hold on a second, let me try to down, up, okay, here you go. Sometimes left and right, it depends how do you go. So I will go here, X, go now. I'm moving down, so make sure that just it snaps correctly. I'll hit down key, snaps, down, X, down, arrows, X, okay, down arrow and X, down arrow, and holding down the X key on the keyboard, it will make it circle in the middle, so it means that you activate the snapping. And if you didn't notice yet, if I hold X, you see this, launch this one, so X, you see it's somehow like pressed, and then when I leave X, it just unpresses again. Now for the parts like this, like where the cockpit, where I already left the detail in the cockpit, it doesn't matter, as long as I have to wrap around the object. So let me try to X and down and X, down and X, down and X again. Just make sure that everything is just snapped as I want it. Okay, so right now I would love to go through the upper ones, these ones. So I'll go X and up and X, and all this using the arrow key up and to pick up the next vertex. Just using the up key, you going to that direction. Up and X. And as you can see here, there is I'm a little bit off. So up and X. You see, I'm just snapping back again to the correct place. So and X. This one and X. Okay, let me pick it up from probably. Let me see, where am I? Here, X. Oh, you see it's a little bit off. X, there we go, up, and X, up. Okay, just making sure that everything snaps the grid, because once we're gonna mirror, it's gonna actually merge the vertices, and if the vertices are not exactly in place, you're gonna get some certain, well, in fact, strange stuff. Now, since I have everything just works fine, in fact I will go for modify center pivot, so my pivot point will be in the center. And please, there are some misconceptions with people who are importing OBJ files to OpenGL. They have some certain problems, like they think that the pivot point which they see in Maya, which they can move around, can be applicable or can move to OpenGL, which is not true. And as you can see here, by the way, I took the liberty and saved it as V4. mean, after I finished the whole body, I just saved it as version 4, so I'll take care about that as well. Now I will select this object, shift right click. Now if I would love to mirror it, if you notice, look at here at my coordinates. I got the y is pointing up, x is here, and z is there. So if I would love to mirror it, this is x, so I have to mirror it to the negative x, alright? So the object will be reflecting on the negative side of x, because z is going through here and x is going through there. So this is the positive side and this is the negative side. So I will go and shift right click, and I have to go to mirror polygon, negative x, and keep your finger crossed. And apparently we got it there. Nice. Not bad. Now of course it's not that quite accurate as you can see, but I mean I will live with that, because I would really I smoothed everything, by the way. Oh, and apparently that's really sad. I got actually all the vertices just merged up in this point, which is quite actually sucks, which is gonna be really difficult then time in undo. Let me try to see if I can shift right click, without merging mesh. I probably have to play a little bit with the settings here of mirroring, because it somehow merges all these points. Let me see here. Well, okay, let me try to check mesh. Here you go, mirror geometry, and I will actually not check merge with the original, because if I do this I'll get this strange thing. Now if I uncheck this -x, so if I reset, so with resetting the settings, it's by default is this, so I will actually mirror direction to -x, uncheck merge with original, mirror, and right now, if you don't notice yet, you see I got this piece is not merged, so I have actually to go by myself and merge it manually. But before I do so, I would actually love to I will deselect this part. I will just try to round things up, so to make it as roundish as possible. This one is already almost there, I believe, isn't it? Yeah, almost there. I would even not I would dare also to go and try to select all these vertices. As you can see here, I even grabbed some unwanted ones, so control click to deselect everything, even deselect these parts. Yeah, here. Okay. Now I have right now to go to every vertex one by one and merge it. So here's the trick. Instead of like selecting those two, as you can see here, if you go for display, heads up display, and poly count, and you select a vertex, you see vertices. These are actual number of vertices, these are the visible ones, and these are the number of selected ones. As you can see here, I got selected 2. So shift right click, merge vertices, merge to center. Now instead of doing this like selecting each one, shift right click, up and up, you could right away select those two, just make sure that you don't select others, and hit the G key to repeat the command. As you can see here, it's became 1. So you go and do this for all the ones in the center. So I will try my best to do this real fast, probably off the camera here. So I will pause until I merge all those. So please make sure, do not forget, merge all those in the center, in the top, and in the center in the bottom, so you make sure that all these guys are merged appropriately, and then come back again. So I'll pause the video, and once I finish I will be unpausing it again. So here we go, I just merged everything. Now if I select only this, as you can see here, I got one. If I do like that, I got only one, and I have done already this for all until here. So this is the top, just deselect this part, so it's one, and as well from the bottom, so this is it, so it's already one, and I got the whole line. So this is right now a complete one object. So if I smooth everything out, yes, it is actually somehow bumpy, but not the best plane in the world. I mean, I advise you and I encourage you to do to even refine this model, make it even much better. I somehow got like 672 faces, which is really gonna be I'm quite actually not that very optimistic, because I really want to make it as even less polygons as possible. Now, there's a very important thing I would love you to understand. The workflow which I chosen, it's not always, I mean, this one, it could work out here. There's even better workflows than this one. The better school is that, I mean, the better people who are like, there's like a school of people who are just saying, approach the shape first and then start adding details. I am completely 100% with that. Actually, it is the best ones for making somehow or if you want to start to make a low poly and then low poly thing and then or low poly shape, and then you can grow up afterwards with the details, and then you can achieve a hyper realistic model. What you see here is somehow like the workflow which I chosen. It's more like somehow like a brute force, if you will. This one works well as well. Yeah, I mean, as you can see here, I mean, it works. I mean, not saying that it's I mean, right now I didn't really care much about the details, so that's why it's a little bit choppy. But I mean, if you are modeling a car, it actually could work as it works perfect with cars. I mean, this methodology or this workflow. There are other people who are achieving when they are modeling car, they achieve the general shape, and then they start adding details and accommodating everything. I really don't know. I tried that method, but somehow I wasn't comfortable very much with it. So I mean, if you are modeling a cars or something like that, that will be really good way of starting like with a small polyplane and then extending everything, you know, like as you already saw from the very much beginning. I saved everything as V4 again. Now now I will actually leave this as it is right now. I will stop here this lesson, and then in the next lesson I will start working on the tail and the wings, and probably adding as well these details. So I will see which one to begin with. Probably we'll start with something quite easy, because right now I believe everything gonna be probably everything gonna be go a little bit faster. I advise you as well to start working on your own, check up for yourself if you can finish some parts, you know, and then compare your work to mine and see what you're gonna get. Hopefully we are getting this project almost to the end. Here you go, just we're gonna have some bunch of details to add here, and then we're gonna import it into OpenGL and start working with it. Okay, so saving this file. Thank you for your attention in this lesson. See you in the next lessons.